Want to know how to feng shui your kitchen? Well, here I am in a beautiful kitchen, and I'm going to talk you through some of the do's and don'ts of feng shuiing your kitchen. I'm Patricia, I'm a feng shui expert, and I'm in this beautiful apartment that has a very clean, elegant white kitchen. So first I want to talk about the colour of the kitchen itself. So is a white kitchen good feng shui, bad feng shui? Well, white is metal element, which is good feng shui, and it's absolutely a perfect colour for a kitchen. Cream is a great colour for a kitchen. What's a bad colour for a kitchen, or not an ideal? And I think, you know, brandishing something bad feng shui may kind of make you a little bit like, oh, nervous, that's my kitchen colour. So there's always something that we can do to mitigate it. So in an ideal world, you wouldn't have a dark red kitchen, because there's already a lot of heat and fire in your kitchen. You've got your oven, you've got your stove, you've got the microwave, there's a lot of fire, kettle, a lot of heat already here. So we don't typically add more fire element to a place that already has a lot of fire. So white is good, cream is good, pastels are fine colours for kitchens, but yeah, not really having that kind of bright red would be definitely something to avoid. The other would be a blue kitchen is not ideal either. So when I talk about blue, I mean like a much darker blue as opposed to a blue or black, and they're more water element. So we've talked about fire element in the kitchen, and blue would put out the fire element, and we want to keep that energy of the fire, the cooking and the generation, but not to have excess of it. So this might feel a little bit like full power feng shui in terms of elements, but these are just some basic things when it comes to, you know, picking a new kitchen for yourself with feng shui. The setup of this kitchen itself is really nice because what is ideal is that the stove and the sink are not opposite each other. These are side by side, and interestingly enough, in this kitchen, I'm just going to put my mug down. They've got the green soap here. So basically, the water element is here, and it's not really it's not the water element. Again, as I said, blue in a kitchen can put out the fire element. So the water is going to put out the fire, but when you have a green in between, the water feeds the wood element. It's not necessarily a plant. You could have a small plant here if you wanted. Feeds the water element, and then the wood element would then balance into the fire and generate a little bit more fire element. So this positioning is pretty good. Having something green in between is a good idea, but it will be helpful. If they were opposite each other, you would put maybe a green rug here between them if the sink happened to be here. And you could hang a little green tea towel just off the oven door here, keeping it nice and simple and keeping that bit of balance and harmony. Now, one of the things that's important when it comes to kitchens is keeping the counter as clear as possible. Now we're in a very clean, clear kitchen right now, so this is absolutely perfect. Having a kettle on display is pretty good. Again, the metal element is great. It's the fire melts the metal, so it's all good. But I have seen in the past a lot of people going for those red utensils and red toasters, red kettle, all of that, and I would lean away from it. Now if you do have it, just notice, just take note, because it may be impacting the family or it may not. I've had clients who've come back to me and said, Patricia, I cannot believe it. The place that we always argued was around the kitchen where the kettle and the toaster was. Once I got rid of them, the red ones, it all just went. So just be mindful of that. Now, what else about a kitchen? Keeping the stove top working and in good working order is important, because this is where we are creating from. This is also associated with prosperity. So you want to keep this nice and clean and nice and well working. And again, any light bulbs, anything burnt out represents burnout. Also, it can be very depleting, so you want to make sure the light bulbs are working. The backsplash on this is quite elegant. We've got a beautiful kind of marble on the back, very neutral, has a little bit of a reflective element, which is good. In feng shui, Again, the background in my own house in Ireland, I have actually a mirror here, and the mirror doubles the energy of the stove. So that's that prosperity being doubled. You could just place a small mirror behind the stove as well. But I would say to you, if it works, you know, it's not going to be the be-all and end-all feng shui cure, but if it works, that would be great. The other thing I say about kitchens is the crockery inside your cupboards, and to make sure that you don't have anything chipped or broken. That's going to be depleting the energy of your food and yourself. So no cracked or broken dishes in your cupboards. Let them go. And then the other thing to be just mindful when it comes to kitchens is you'll see on this one, there's no knife block on display. We don't recommend having knives on display in feng shui. And I have come across some beautiful, beautiful alternatives that when you open up the drawer, there's little, like an insert that the knives like slot in on, which is really brilliant. Why do we not have knives on display? Again, knives are weapons, they are dangerous, and they can lead to a little bit of aggressiveness energetically sometimes if the energy isn't great in a certain area. So I like to say knives out of sight in the kitchen. The other thing in your kitchen is to be really mindful of what's in your cupboards and your presses. The pantry sometimes can be this little, I don't know, cavern of expired goods and expired foods and jars and tins that haven't been touched in a long time. And we buy fresh cupboards, fresh jars, it all gets stacked in front, and down the back there's a lot of stagnancy created. So I would highly recommend, you know, getting a little bit like more detailed and digging in deep and sussing out and clearing out any of those expired goods, and making sure you just use up things regularly, and maybe kind of like minimizing the amount that's in those cupboards, because it can create a little bit of overwhelm. And every part of your home, you want to come in and start to feel, oh, this is more organized. So the one cupboard that I think and find gets a little bit tricky is that big pantry one. Clear some of the expired goods out of it, and then in the drawers, make sure, so there's the Tupperware, or those plastic containers, the soup boxes, all of that. Do a little bit of an inventory of those every now and again. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to feng shuiing your kitchen, and happy feng shuiing.